Hola, compañeros, bienvenidos a la clase. Senor Broom here, greeting you live, well, not quite live anymore, from Virginia, Minnesota, where I am at today with Raphael and the tennis team. So I thought I'd make you a quick grammar tutorial here to help you better understand the learning target for today. So if you look up at the board, the learning target today is I can tell time in the Spanish language using basic sentence formulas. So, get you started here. We're actually going to start out cantando una canción, singing a song, and no, it's not Tengo la camisa negra this time. It is called Uno, Dos, Tres, ¿Qué hora es? Gonna go uno, dos, tres, ¿qué hora es? Cuatro, cinco, seis, por favor, ¿qué hora es? Uno, dos, tres, ¿qué hora es? Siete, ocho, nueve, diez, por favor, ¿qué hora es? Vamos a cantar, ¿sí o no? ¿Sí o no? Uno, dos, tres, ¿qué hora es? Cuatro, cinco, seis, por favor, ¿qué hora es? Uno, dos, tres, ¿qué hora es? Siete, ocho, nueve, diez, por favor, ¿qué hora es? Muy bien, compañeros, muy bien, muy bien. Entonces, we're going to go ahead and take out our pasaportes here, and we're going to open them up to Tarea, a brand new sheet that we're going to call Tarea 14. And the name of Tarea 14 is going to be ¿Qué hora es? And you do not need to copy down the lyrics to that song. That's okay. We are going to start Tarea 14 with parte uno. That's going to be la diferencia, the difference between son las and es la. So if you remember from yesterday in clase, we talked about using the expression es la to talk only about the 1 o'clock hour. Why? What is it about the number 1 that makes the expression es la and not son las? If you remember the Sarah song. Rosa, you remember what it is, ¿verdad? Why do we use es la with 1 o'clock and not with any of the other hours? Muy bien, Rosa, porque 1 is a singular number. So if you remember the Sarah song, soy, eres, es, somos, son, es is for he or she, which are both singular. Son is for they or you all, which is plural. So we use son las to talk about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rack, ¿verdad? Es la una, it is 1 o'clock. Son las dos, they are 2 o'clock. Son las tres, they are 3 o'clock. Son las cuatro, they are 4 o'clock. Son las cinco, they are 5 o'clock. So in English, we use it is for all of them, even though the word it implies what? Singularity. implies that it's one single thing when you say it. So why do we say in English it is 1 o'clock, it is 2 o'clock? I don't know. You could make that argument in a different class period. For today, por favor, let's know that parte uno of Tarea 14 is going to be that son las is used for 2 through 12 o'clock, while es la is used for only 1 o'clock. Muy bien. If I'm going too fast here, feel free to pause me. See? Okay, perfecto. Vamos a seguir. Parte uno continued here. Let's write down a few examples. Es la una, it is 1 o'clock. Son las dos, it is 2 o'clock. Son las tres, it is 3 o'clock. Son las cuatro, it is 4 o'clock, etc., etc. Muy bien. Preguntas, hasta ahora, preguntas. If you have questions, go ahead and ask Senor Fogarty. He is an expert with the Spanish language. He will explain every question you have. ¿Verdad, Señor Fogarty? Maybe. We'll see. He's learning a little Francés, so after this video, go ahead and ask him about his trip to Francia. He'd probably be happy to tell you about it, see? Yeah. Parte dos. We're going to call this adding minutes. So far we have that, in order to say the time, we can say, it is 1 o'clock, es la una, it is 2 o'clock, son las dos, it is 3 o'clock, son las tres. But what if we want to say it is 1:10, or it is 2:20, or it is 3:30, or it is 4:45, or it is 5:26 in the morning, right? So we have to know how to add minutes to these times. So, parte dos. If it is the 1 o'clock hour, you're going to do the structure es la plus this magic word here. The magic word is y. And then you add your minutes. So, for example, es la una y 10. Es la una y 15. Es la una y 18. Es la una y 19. Es la una y 20, ¿verdad? So for the 1 o'clock hour, es la plus the hour plus the y plus the minutes. See? Now, if you're in the 2 o'clock hour, son las dos y 10. Son las dos y 20. Son las dos y 28. Son las dos y 29. Son las dos y 30. See? So we'll have son las plus your hour, add the y, add the minutes. Okay? So what we might need to do here is add hour plus e plus minutes for that. If you want to make that change there, we could do that. So, es la plus hour plus e plus minutes if you're in the 1 o'clock hour. Son las plus hour plus e plus minutes if you're in the 2 o'clock through 12 o'clock hour. See? Yeah. Parte dos, continued. We got some examples here. Let's copy them down. Es la una y 10. It is 1:10. So technically speaking, it is 1 and 10. Son las dos y 20. It is 2:20. Or technically speaking, they are 2 and 20. Son las tres y 30. It is 3:30, or technically speaking, they are 3 and 30. Son las cuatro y 40. It is 4:40, or technically speaking, they are 4 and 40. See? So there again, there is that magic letter Y at work that is connecting your hours and your minutes. Okay? Son las tres y 30. Son las cuatro y 40. So again, our formula. Es la plus hour plus y plus minutes. Son las plus hour plus y plus minutes, etc., etc. See? Vamos, vamos, vamos. Parte tres. I'm going to call parte tres fancy terms. Just like in English, we can say it is 1:15, but Ana Maria, help us out. What's another way we can say it is 1:15? We can also say it's 1:15. Muy bien. What if it's 1:30? In English, we don't use this one as much, but what's another way of saying it's 1:30? We could say it's 1:30, ¿verdad? Muy bien. So just like in English, we can do that. In Spanish, there's another way. Of course, the word for 15 is quince, but when you talk about 60 minutes in an hour, what's 60 divided by 4 is 15. So that means 1/4 of 60 is 15. Therefore, we have quince. 15 is also known as un cuarto, a quarter. Now, same for media. Media, the same word for 30 in telling time. What's half of 60? The word for the translation of media actually means half. So middle. It actually means middle. So what is half of 60 is 30. That is why we can say it's 1:30 or it's 1 in the middle. It's half. It's 1:30, ¿verdad? So go ahead and copy down that 15. Obviously, we know the word for 15 is quince, but when you're telling time, you can also use that word cuarto, ¿verdad? Es la 1:15, es la 1:15. Just like for 30, the word for 30 is treinta, but in telling time, we can call 30 also media, half. Es la 1:30, es la 1:30, they are the same, ¿verdad? Perfecto. Seguir, seguir. Parte 3, continued. We're going to have a couple examples here. Es la 1:15, it's 1:15, or if you'd like, es la 1:15. ¿Sí? 2:30, son las 2:30, or son las 2:30, it's 30. ¿Sí? So those are your two fancy terms, as I call them, in play. Muy bien. Es la 1:15. Same exact thing as es la 1:15. Make sure you do not write the word cuatro. Cuatro meaning 4. Cuarto, R before T, meaning quarter. See? Es importante, es importante. Hey, parte 4. Adding AMs and PMs to our time. So, interestingly enough, AM coming from Latin, ante meridium, before the middle, and PM, post meridium, after the middle. So in English, we use AM, PM, the Latin terms. We use AM, ante meridium, before the middle of the day, to talk about the hours between midnight and noon. And we use post meridium, after middle day, to talk about the hours between 12 o'clock noon and midnight. In Spanish, very uncommon that they use AM and PM. Some countries you might see some individuals using it, especially if they have a lot of experience internationally. They generally use the following 3 terms. De la mañana, in the morning. De la tarde, in the afternoon and in the evening. We'll talk more about that in a second. De la noche, at night. So they wouldn't say es la 1 a.m. They would say es la 1 de la mañana. See? So you might be asking right now, de la tarde, it can both mean in the morning, or excuse me, in the afternoon and in the evening. How do you know the difference then? How do you know when to use de la tarde? I guess the real question is knowing when to use de la tarde and when to use de la noche. Generally speaking, you would use de la tarde until about 7 o'clock p.m. They still consider this de la tarde And then around 8 o'clock p.m. is when you'll start using de la noche. So probably about the same here. At 7 p.m. we probably still consider 7 o'clock in the evening. When 8 o'clock comes around, some of you might still consider 8 o'clock to be in the evening, but most of us probably agree that 8 o'clock means 8 o'clock at night. We cut off the evening around 7 o'clock. Maybe some of you might even cut off the evening around 6 o'clock. So, generally speaking, in most Spanish-speaking countries, you would say, son las 7 de la tarde. Then when you get to 8 o'clock, son las 8 de la noche. That's about the cutoff point, the transition between evening and night. See? Preguntas, again, just ask Mr. Fogarty. He will tell you everything you need to know here. See? Muy bien, muy bien. Okay, muy bien. Unos ejemplos, parte 4, continued. Es la 1 de la mañana. It is 1 o'clock a.m. See? Son las 2 de la tarde. It is 2 o'clock p.m. Son las 9 de la noche. It is 9 o'clock p.m. So again, here you get to see our de la mañana in context, de la tarde in context, de la noche in context. See? AM, PM, PM, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, at night. See? Muy bien. Vamos, vamos, vamos. Again, if I'm moving too fast, go ahead and pause me. That's the advantage of not teaching live, is that you can pause me. Okay, unos ejemplos. We're gonna try some a practicar. Juan, por favor. If Juan is here today, I am picking on you. Give me una frase. My question here is going to be, Juan, ¿qué hora es? Again, what's the question? The question is, what time is it? ¿Qué hora es? So Juan will enlighten you. He will probably be telling you something along the lines of son las 3, right? 3 o'clock is a plural number, so we need to use son las, not es la, it's not 1 o'clock. Son las 3, and then it's p.m. Is 3 p.m., is that in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, in the night? Muy bien, I agree. That's probably in the afternoon. Son las 3 de la tarde. ¿Sí? Perfecto. Gracias, Juan. Hey. Por favor, Mónica. Mónica, are you here? ¿Estás, sí o no, Mónica? If you are here, por favor, tell me qué hora es. Muy bien. Mónica dice, son las. She says son las because it's the 6 o'clock hour, and 6 is a plural number. So son las 6. Y, she's going to add minutes. So our formula, son las plus hour plus y is our connecting word, and add the minutes. 5, cinco. Son las 6:05 a.m. de la mañana, because it's a.m., it's in the morning. ¿Sí? Perfecto. Gracias, Mónica. Ahora, por favor, vamos con Rosa. Rosa, are you here? ¿Estás aquí? ¿Sí o no? Rosa. If you are here, por favor, tell me, ¿qué hora es? Muy bien. Rosa's going to tell us son las 8 because it is a singular number. Son las 8. E, she's going to use E to connect the hours and the minutes. 20, it is 8:20. PM, as we learned, PM would be not in the evening, not de la tarde, but de la noche. ¿Sí? Perfecto, Rosa, perfecto. Ahora, voluntario, por favor, levanta la mano. Levanta la mano if you are a voluntario for the last one. Pablo, gracias. Pablo is our volunteer. I can see him raising his hand right now. So, Pablo, go ahead. ¿Qué hora es? Okay, let's give him a second here. Muy bien. Pablo dice, son las 10. It's a plural number. 10 is plural, so he's using son las 10. Now's the tricky part. 45. Son las 10. Y 40 y 5, 40 and 5, ¿verdad? De la noche at night, ¿verdad? Muy bien, Pablo. Impresionante, impresionante. Excelente. Ustedes muy bien, ustedes muy bien. Do a quick recap here, and then you guys will get into your actividad. So, the question of the unit is ¿Qué hora es? And that's the name of Tarea 14. We sang our song. 1, 2, 3. ¿Qué hora es? 4, 5, 6. Por favor, ¿qué hora es? ¿Verdad? Then we talked about the difference between son las and es la. We use son las when it's 2 through 12 because 2 through 12 are plural numbers. We use es la for the 1 o'clock hour because 1 is a singular number. Gave you some examples. Es la una, it is 1. Son las dos, it is 2. Son las tres, it is 3. Son las cuatro, it is 4. We talked about how to add minutes to the time. When it's the 1 o'clock hour, we talk about es la plus the hour plus that magic letter Y, meaning E, and the minutes. And then, of course, when it's 2 through 12, we use our son las plus hour plus magic connecting word E plus minutes. In context, we see it. Es la una y 10. It is 1 and 10 o'clock. Or, excuse me, it is 1 o'clock and 10 minutes. Son las 2:20. It is they are 2 o'clock and 20 minutes. Son las 3:30. They are 3 o'clock and 30 minutes. Son las 4:40. They are 4 o'clock and 40 minutes. See? Parte 3, we talked about some fancy terms that the word for 15, of course, is 15, but if you use the word cuarto, that's also okay and it's correct. It means a quarter. We talked about 30, meaning 30, of course, but if you use media, it means middle or half, and that's also an appropriate way to talk about 30 minutes when telling time. Saw some examples. Es la 1:15, it is 1:15. Or es la 1:15, it's quarter after 1. Son las 2:30, it is 2:30. Or son las 2:30, it is 2:30. Los dos están bien, sí, perfecto. We talked about adding the AMs and PMs. De la mañana, AM in the morning. De la tarde, PM in the afternoon or PM in the evening. De la noche, PM at night. Heard that? And we saw those in context. We said, es la una de la mañana, it's 1 o'clock AM. Son las 2 de la tarde, it's 2 o'clock PM. Son las 9 de la noche, it's 9 o'clock PM. ¿Verdad? And then some of our compañeros helped us out with telling times on some of these analog clocks. So, I know you guys are super excited to make your own clocks, and I said go on Google Images and find some examples of some really cool analog style clocks. Make your numbers Roman numerals or make your numbers fancy, however you want to do it. Use colored pencils, put a theme, make a Beauty and the Beast clock, whatever you want to do. But before we get into our clocks, Senor Fogarty's going to hand you out just a practice sheet. You're going to practice writing the time. I think there's 8 questions on there. You're going to work with your partners. You're not going to hand this in. It's strictly for practice. So, work on it. We'll go over it on Monday. Take about 10 minutes. It'll take about 10 minutes. Senor Fogarty's going to cut you off in about 10 minutes, and then from there, you will get straight into the clock building assignment, which will take you until the end of the block today. So, if this stuff isn't clear, it's fine. This is what we're doing next week. I'll be here. We'll talk more about it next week. Yeah? Okay. Perfecto, compañeros. Hasta el lunes. Have a muy buen fin de semana. Hasta pronto.